So guys, welcome back again to my channel. We all know how people condemn the president and the government for buying that presidential worth over how many billions of naira, despite the hunger we are facing in this country. And Peter have actually come out to say something about that, and I'll play it for you guys in this video. And also, Dele Farotumi, which you all know him, have also come out to say that revolution is inevitable because during the 10 days protest, the government are yet to meet the demands of the people, and fuel that they were asking for government to reduce is even going more higher, because right now fuel is around 1,000 naira. You cannot go any short distance without paying up to 500 naira in these days. And that's why the person is saying that protest or revolution is inevitable, that it must come. But let me guys to just hear what P2B said about this issue of the government purchasing a high amount of jets despite the hunger in the land. Watch this video, guys. And also, I'd like you guys to watch the video of the referral to me where he made that statement that revolution is inevitable. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Do you feel this represents Nigeria on the international stage, or on the international stage right now? How do you feel we're being represented by our leaders internationally?
Very, very shameful. We shouldn't be talking about buying jets today with the level of poverty. We can't be poverty capital of the world and be buying jets. It shouldn't be. Even when I'm still questioning, how much was the cost? We said we're replacing the old one. What is the age of the new one? Why did we need to replace the old one? What is far wrong with it? For me, that shouldn't be. Every penny today should be directed about pulling people out of poverty, in health, in education, because this is where we're lacking. These are development trajectories where we're lacking when compared with similar countries that we're supposed to be at par with. We are low in human development, in education. Our health is worsening every day, where we've even overtaken India in infant mortality, despite the fact that people are hungry. They don't know where the next meal will come from. So every penny should be directed to that. And that's what I hear everywhere. I've been speaking to people from other countries who are talking, listening to the Prime Minister of Kosovo speak this morning in a meeting, listening to former Prime Minister of Denmark speak. Everybody is talking about the people, and the ordinary people. And you could see what I'm telling you about ordinary people, where chairman of VNC is a son of a single mom who was brought up by the grandparents.
Similar to Obama.
Everything. So we want to create a society where a child of nobody will rise up due to productivity and be somebody, where people's talent and hard work will match up their opportunity in life.
You know, we all want to say, oh, a revolution is coming. They've been predicting one in Nigeria before I was born. Malam Aminu Kano predicted one, the uprising of the Talakawas. Tunji Braithwaite predicted it. Remember the one of the cockroaches and rats? Fela Anikulapo predicted it. Ganifa Oyemi predicted it. Every person who had made it their business to examine Nigeria, to look at its conditions, the unsustainability of the choices that we have made, have had occasion to predict a Nigerian revolution. My brother Yele speaks of it frequently. A lot of people speak to the revolution on multiple fronts. Almost all socialist thinkers in Nigeria have had occasion to speak to the coming revolution. So everybody speaks about a Nigerian revolution. They speak of it as an inevitable outcome of our many trajectories and contradictions. In the case of Nigeria, where the putrefaction is not just governmental, it is the entire society itself that has become decadent, visionless, and devoid of purpose. A revolution in the classic sense, which is the overthrow of the reigning class, would not work. There has to be a revolution of the Nigerian mind. We, as a collective, would have to consciously decide that we can be better and we want to be better. So the Nigerian revolution is not inevitable. What is inevitable is the coming storm. And that coming storm is what I want us to speak to. If you're looking to the Nigerian situation to predict the coming storm, you must necessarily look to the rainmakers. You look to the churches and mosques, the Oro groves now. You look to religion first. You look to the purpose and the result. What has religion achieved in the Nigerian space? Stupefaction. So the Nigerian is not really given to too much thoughts any longer. He is largely dependent on the reflexes that he has inherited from his religious indoctrination. So instead of looking to use his God-given brain to resolve the problems, he is given to his religious reflexes in order to react instead of to respond. So when you have a situation where these perfect rainmakers are in the Nigerian space, the only thing you guarantee because of all these inequities is a storm, not a revolution. That our young lady from the south, preparing to cross the Sahara, she already knew she'll be raped. So she bought condoms. She prepared for the journey. Rape was an acceptable risk. So to minimize that risk, she bought condoms, which she will ask her rapist to please use. Eventually, maybe a few out of 10, maybe out of 10 young men and women who will trek across the Sahara, cross the Mediterranean, let's say about 6 or 7 out of 10 would eventually make a harrowing months in detention camps, immigration camps. Eventually, they make it to mainland Europe. Go to the internet. You see multiple videos. I saw one made by CNN, actually. Young Nigerian girls in Parc des Princes in Paris being paid €5 to trade their flesh out in the park. They escaped. That is their own reaction. Responses. Multiple people have different stories to tell, but they saw the coming storm or the rain started earlier in their neighborhood. But what are the ruiners themselves doing? Almost without exception, everybody responsible for the ruination of Nigeria has a second passport. They have second residences. I know Obas, including the idiot who was trying to murder me. He carries foreign passports. They all carry foreign passports. They have foreign residences. They've given up on Nigeria. They are busy telling the Yorubas to hate Igbo, Hausa to hate Fulani, Fulani to hate Igbo. At the end of the day, they themselves are none of those things. Those things do not separate them. They are neighbors. In Knightsbridge, on the Potomac, in Dubai, they buy houses in Mecca, but their heart is far away from Allah. They buy homes everywhere. Nigeria is not their home. They are responding, planning ahead for the storm that they know would necessarily come because of the actions and inactions. They've damaged the army beyond, probably beyond redemption. Every institution of state compromised. They know that this is not sustainable. but they are planning for the day after the storm. They want you to react violently. Violence works for them. They want you to act independent of each other, discordantly, pursuing different things when your afflictions are actually the same. The ruiners have gamed that their interests are best assured by your embrace of violence, so that the system is gridlocked, and then they redefine this space in a manner that assures that they escape justice. Have you heard anybody talking about consequences for those who looted the subsidy regime? Have you heard anyone talking about charging Adisirika for the national embarrassment that was here in Nigeria? Have you heard anyone talk about it? How many times have you heard of Malami swallowing billions and billions? Who has charged him with anything? Trillions were printed during Buhari's regime. The only person being chased around is Emefiele. Trillions are still being squandered today, as if there is no tomorrow, as if tomorrow does not even matter. You're talking about a country with the perfect storm brewing. Over 20 million children. We're talking about the children that are not in school that should be in school. What about those who are not of school age any longer, much older? They're already in their late teenage years. They're already in their 20s. No training of any sort. No capacity for productivity of any sort. And yet, we've not declared a national emergency to prepare for the coming storm. These started where NSAS progressed to. NSAS progressed to end bad governance, end impunity. And that was where the last protest began. It began with end bad governance. It distilled issues. If you harmonize the lists, you probably have about 12 issues. Not a single one of those issues have been addressed. The first thing that the Nigerian state did in reaction was to bring some stupid bill that presumed to curtail the rights of Nigerians to be human. Stupidity and hubris of the highest order. There is a coming deluge. Let me say it again. There is a coming deluge. Ignore it at your peril. Address these issues. Address them urgently. Them, meaning the ruiners. They belong to no tribe. Fela said it rightly. They are beasts of no nation. They know nothing about God. Those who know of God will not leave you to be starving when they are spending billions, 90 billions to subsidize Hajj. You come, how many people will go to Hajj? How many would have benefited from all of that? Where did they find that in their own Quran? And as they are wasting money on you going to Hajj, they're doing the same with the Christians who are not even going to Jerusalem most of the time. They go to Jordan. They go to Lebanon. That is how they are preparing. You prepare by uniting yourselves.
Why don't Nigeria's government put Nigerians first? Because I believe if you are being a leader or you are being elected as a leader, what you should do first is to put your people in mind first. Put them in place first and know that these are the people we are leading and these are the people that you ought to make sure that life is better, but not in Nigeria. In Nigeria, they put the government first. Governments are already comfortable right now in Nigeria because they earn millions of naira monthly, plus the allowances that is millions, plus the vehicles given to them free of charge, plus the water allowances and every other allowances given to them. They are living very comfortable. So I believe that they have all it takes to put Nigerians first, but not in Nigeria government. They are all mindful of their own selves, their own pockets. And we all know other countries that have actually done that we are underdeveloped and now they are developed. Dubai was never developed like this. It was a result of good governance. Other countries also were not developed like this. Ghana wasn't developed like this, but because they had good governance. Kenya had bad governance, and then that revolution that happened, now at least the government are now putting the people first in everything they are doing. I think that's what our country here is lacking. They lack selfless services, because guess what? Because they are not the ones that they just elected. I guess that was why they are doing this thing they are doing, of what happened last year during the election, because they knew what happened. So I believe that this is actually a payback from my own side. I think it's a payback to Nigerians for not staying with them, and then they had their way through into the office. And I guess this is the way they are paying back Nigerians for not supporting them in the election. But that's not what a leader is. This is actually an attribute of a failed leader. If you cannot put your people first, I believe a leader should put the masses and the people they are leading first before their own self, because they are already comfortable. See what happened in Kenya. Kenya have now started putting their masses in mind first before any other thing, because you can't, all the money you are using to spend on houses and various SUVs are buying for the politician, you can use it to turn it to a company, build a company that can employ thousands of youths, because a lot of youths are out there without jobs. Most of them are struggling to even find what they will eat in the next minutes, because there's no job in this country. Everybody is trying to survive, and everybody is scamming each other to survive, because this is now like survival of the fittest. You have to survive if you are strong. If you're not strong, you won't survive. This is the level where the country government have led us to and kept us in. And I think revolution, like Delefaro to me said in this video, is the best way to go about it. Since protests didn't do anything, let's see if revolution will do anything, if we come out in mass. Let me know what about the video in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to always subscribe. Thumbs up, guys.